NBA STRAYA, how are you going? How are you going? I hope you're right. You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Friday, January 24th. There is a long weekend this weekend, so that's kind of good, isn't it? I mean, it is for me because I'm going away. Going up the Murray, bro. Going up the river. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to go smash some tins with mates and family. It's going to be very fun. Either way, it's a Friday. I hope you settled in. Today's show is just a quick sort of look at the All-Stars that I reckon we should have. And a big weekend ahead for your long weekend. So I am your host, James Clements. You can see my ugly mug on the panel, the official Supercoach show. I'm wearing a Sonics t-shirt like this one. Bit oversized, but that's okay. I'm a fat bastard, see. What else am I on? The AFL Today show, NFL Australia. Actually, the Supercoach show, the NBL Supercoach show was really good this week. Go check that out on YouTube. I'm here at Larry Armour Studios. Halfway through packing the car. Doing some work. But today, we get the All-Star starters announced. Now, remember, it's all a bit screwy, so we'll talk about that in a second. There's a little bit more Jimmy Butler gear. We've got some Brandon Miller and Franz Wagner injury news, and one more dunk comp participant. And that'll be it. And then we'll pick and preview every single game for tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. There's a lot of games. There's real cracker ones in there too. There's only one game on Monday to go up against the NFL, so may as well just sort of skip through that. All right, let's get into it. Episode 1193 of NBA STRAYA. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA.
You're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA STRAYA.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Well, you better. Especially when it comes to the All-Star vote announcements, which will be happening in a second. I'll tell you what. Remember, before we do all things All-Star, which I'm about to do, the screwy approach to what they're doing of like, oh, we're going to have 4 different teams and they're going to play a mini tour. It's going to suck. But All-Star always kind of sucks. So, I don't know. It's all about who made it. Who are the snubs? But yeah, the big news coming today was that Bronny James declined to participate in the skills challenge with his old man and won't be at the Rising Stars. Yeah, because he's shit and shouldn't be in the Rising Stars team. So it's actually a pretty smart approach from Bronny because all he'd do is probably get slammed for it. So he declined an invite to be in the skills challenge with his old man. You might have heard of him, LeBron. And to be a part of the Rising Stars game. Yeah, he shouldn't be in the fucking Rising Stars game because he's not good. Like, what are we doing here? What? So yeah, it's actually a smart way for him to duck the criticism by not going. Well played. Other news, Jimmy Butler wants to go anywhere but Memphis, which is weird. He wants to finish his career wherever he does go, but he doesn't want to go to Memphis. His wish list is just out of Miami, apparently, with the exception of Memphis. Now, if you ever needed to know what Jimmy Butler's all about, it's not winning because Memphis is good. This is insane gear. Nah, I don't want to go where they're like the third team in the West and they're really good. Why not, Jimmy? Reasons. Yeah. So if you ever needed more proof that Jimmy Butler is actually a bit of a flog, well, there it is. So, yeah. Tobias Harris over me! And Eric Spoelstra told everyone to get over it. He told his team, the point I made to our team is to get used to it. Get over it. This is the NBA life. This is the life we chose. If you think it's going to be predictable, you're really mistaken. It's not tapping oil wells. It's not offshore drilling. This is the life we chose. To be pampered fucking millionaires. What are we doing here? Oh, yeah, geez. Oh, it's pretty rough when one of your teammates wants to not play for your team ever again. Oh, I don't know how we're going to get past that. Fuck off. Taking a piss. Anyway, speaking of actual adversity, Brandon Spindles Miller is out for the rest of the season for the Charlotte Hornets with a wrist injury. That sucks. I love Spindles. He was having a really good year. And every time he sort of played, he and LaMelo just sort of lifted that Hornets team into something really kind of fun. And now it's just Miles Bridges, and that guy fucking sucks. So, yeah. Franz Wagner, hello. He's back. That's good. After his oblique tear. And suddenly, the Magic Men are looking a little bit good. Do they need to make a move, though? So I've been banging on about this time after time after time. They just need a point guard. Anthony Black's good. He's also really young. Cole Anthony, Cole, isn't really a point guard. He's a scoring guard. You've got Paolo and Franz who can run a point forward, but yeah, it's a bit weird. Either way, just want to sort of see them get back into a bit of a gear before the trade deadline and then sort of maybe kick the tires on whatever they want to do, huh? That sounds like a good plan. And other injuries, Greg Popovich recovering from his stroke. So that's okay. He's apparently attacking his rehab. Is that how you meant to go about rehab? Are you meant to attack it? I don't know. Sure. I want to go to rehab. And he apparently calls Chris Paul after every game, which is the most boomer shit ever. Chris Paul's like, fucking here we go. Hi, Pop. Yes, it was a good game. Yes, we beat the Pacers in Paris. Yeah. And as I mentioned at the top, one more dunk comp dude was announced as well. Andre Jackson Jr. Seriously, what do we got? A second-year role player, 2 rookies. This fucking sucks. I don't like being a negative Nelly about All-Star stuff, but they've just... This might be the nadir. I struggle to see how this could be the triumphant return of the All-Star weekend, right? It just fucking... Ugh. Anyway. Speaking of All-Stars, the starters are announced today. You'll see that floating around socials. My All-Stars... If I had a vote, I don't, in a surprise twist, which sucks. Go on, Adam Silver, you coward. Give your mate Jim a bloody All-Star and MVP vote. But then I wouldn't be able to bet on it. Anyway, All-Stars in the East. Do you have Jalen Brunson or Cade Cunningham? That's my big question. I'm like, screw it. Cade Cunningham. He's been awesome. Donnie Mitchell, Cade Cunningham. You could also have Darius Garland ahead of Donnie Mitchell, but I feel like Mitchell has been very, very, very good, if not great. And there's probably one extra very in there over the top of Garland, who's been very, very, very good. Anyway, Donnie Mitchell, Cade Cunningham, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not going to fault you if you have Brunson over Cade. I just really like him. I think he's neat. My reserves, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brown. Just get all the Jalens. Why not? Mobley, Tyrese Maxey, the forgotten man there in Philly, Dame Lillard, and Darius Rucker, Judy Garland. The last spot, do we give it to LaMelo or Dyson Daniels? That's probably Trey. LaMelo, though, is fun. So Trey and LaMelo should be in the All-Star game because I think they're just kind of fun dudes. But if you want to see dudes brick a bunch of threes, put them in. Sure. Dyson Daniels, this is the thing. I feel like every All-Star game should have at least 2 designated defenders. I think that'd be fun. So if you go Jared Allen and Dyson Daniels for the East and you go stop them. And they're like, blah, okay. And off they go. And in the West, we have Stephen Curry as a starter next to SGA, next to KD, and then Victor Wembanyama ahead of LeBron James. LeBron will probably still get it because of the fan vote. But you can't tell me that he's had a better season than Wemby. And then Jokic, who's averaging a triple-double. And is in top 3 in all statistical categories that are known to man. My reserves in the West. LeBron James, Ant-Man, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, J-Dub, and then last spots between Şengün and Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. which is interesting because those two dudes are on the 2 and 3 seeded teams in the West and don't have like other teammates there. It's because Ja Morant's missed a bunch of time. And the Rockets are sort of like this weird collective, aren't they? Where it's like you can't say Jalen Green's got an all-star case or Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks, but as a team, they're all-stars. That's good. Woo! Anyway, so I reckon the consensus actual picks in the East will probably be Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Tatum, Cat. And in the West, probably Steph, SGA, KD, LeBron, and Jokic is my guess. I would be surprised if LeBron does miss out in place of Wemby. LeBron might even beat KD, and KD might miss out due to Wemby, but I don't know. So either way, a couple of interesting questions, and they'll get announced probably at the end of this show, actually. Anyway, good times, great memories. Right, let's get into it. Should we do some game? Well, there's one game wrap actually from this morning at 6 a.m. out there in Gay Paris in France, which was pretty fun. I was watching it this morning with the Squids. Then it wasn't fun because San Antonio just kicked the shit out of him. 140-110 in the end. Victor Wembanyama had 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks. Had that sick dunk off the backboard to himself, which is very nice. That was pretty good. In 32 minutes, put on a clinic for his home crowd. And that's kind of cool. In terms of the games today, remember we did the sort of previews on yesterday's show, but we've got Paul and Orlando literally just tipped off, and we've got Franz Wagner, hello. He's back, which is kind of cool. There was no DeAndre Dominaton for the Blazers, so Robert Williams, Time Lord, got the start. So interesting to see if Duop gets out there in that one. Whereas for the Magic Men, they've got Bada Bancaro, Franz Wagner, hello, Anthony Black, KCP, and Wendell. So they're getting slowly back to sort of full strength. And it was remarkable. The Orlando Magic line went all the way down to 7.5. So I think I'm going to switch that pick, but either way. Toronto playing Atlanta. A fascinating matchup with Dyson Daniels and co. up against RJ Barrett, Scoob. I think we picked Toronto to cover. Dallas OKC. Dallas have just got like nobody left. I don't know. As I mentioned on yesterday's show, I don't know if Kyrie's going to play. But apparently, he reached 18,000 points yesterday. So that's pretty nice. Good on him. Otherwise, do we have an injury report for that Mavs team today? Let's have a look. Derek Lively out. Klay Thompson out. Jaden Hardy out. Dwight Powell out. Luka out. Dante out. So maybe Kyrie does play. Interesting. Still, okay, so you will kill them. Miami, Milwaukee. We're going to take the Bucks in that one. We took Denver over Sacramento as well after the Kings finally got by the Warriors last night. Golden State play Chicago. Can they keep up on offense? Can they slow down that Chicago offense is the big question. Don't know. Interesting one. And then Celtics Lakers, which is pretty awesome. The biggest problem is, like, how do we screw up the scheduling so bad, NBA, where you make the Boston Celtics play the day before, so the Celtics are on a back-to-back against the Lakers? Are your fucking heads full of rocks? That's some of the stupidest shit you'll ever see. Like, I get that this is the big Thursday night doubleheader on TNT, but having Boston on a back-to-back is just fucking beyond belief. It's so dumb. What are you doing? Like, give that game, Celtics-Lakers, one of only 2 times they'll match up all season, a hint of fucking clear air, would you? That's just, it's irresponsible, is what it is. It's ridiculous. It's horrible. There's no other way to put it.
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
Told you. Yeah, so that's dumb. Anyway, yeah, so like the Lakers get a day off in between their game against Washington on Wednesday. Now play Boston, who played the Clippers yesterday in a hard-fought, stupid game that the Celtics should have smashed them in, but didn't. Anyway, so that is your Friday. Then, there's also a Washington Clippers game as well at the end of that one. Washington probably should cover that one. Tomorrow, there's only 3 games. We've got Portland at Charlotte as the Blazers sort of go through this weird, rough stretch of East Coast road trip where they played the Floridian teams and Charlotte, and then go all the way home and play OKC. Whoa, what a kick in the dick. So Portland will play Charlotte tomorrow. I think Charlotte can probably win that, actually. And this is the weekend preview, BT Dubs. We should probably play the Paddy Mills Game Day Ball or Game Day music, shouldn't we? Oh, yeah, there it is. So tomorrow we go into Saturday, January 25. You've got Portland at Charlotte with a bit of a game preview. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, I'm a bit dusty today after a few tins last night, but not too bad. Let's actually check on a Paddy Mills Game Day Ball again. Oh, there's a Dyson update. Looking very, very sharp. Vucetti dropped 2. That looks awesome. He's looking very sharp in that picture. On your Dyson. So Portland at Charlotte kicks things off tomorrow. Yeah, Charlotte should probably win that with the Blazers on a back-to-back. If Ayton sits someone out as well, it gets pretty hard. Mark Williams could have a big one. LaMelo versus Anthony Penny-Simons and Scoot. Not much defense here, kids. Then, Cleveland. Cleveland at Philly. Yeah, pour one out for the Sixers. Cleveland will be out for blood after losing to Houston. I think the Cavs delete the Sixers. New Orleans at Memphis. That's a pretty fun game as well. It's actually a little bit tricky too, because if Zion plays, you know that the Pelicans will have a bit of a chance. DeJounte Murray and CJ McCollum have been playing really well, but it's their wings, right? Jordan Hawkins. Who else have they been sort of rolling out? No, he's now on the Mavs. Who's their other big one? I'll get to that in 1 second. Why am I blanking on his bloody name? Just great stuff there, Jim. Just great stuff. Trey Murphy! That's it. Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy crushing it of late. And Jordan Hawkins, very, very sneakily excellent last little bit. Anyway, the Grizzlies should probably beat them at home. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies in that one. So Charlotte, Cleveland, and Memphis for tomorrow's picks. Then Sunday, we have I think all bar 2 teams playing. OKC and Portland, who are the only teams playing on Monday, which is pretty interesting. Because the NBA is afraid of the NFL. January 26th, we have Indy at San Antone. Again in Gay Paris in France. I reckon the Pacers will learn a little bit from that first game. The shock and awe will probably have worn off a little bit, right? I'll go the Pacers. Maybe. Denver, Minnesota, a replay of last year's second round of the playoffs. That's pretty fun. I think the Nuggets, I reckon the Nuggets beat Sacramento today and then turn around and also beat Minnesota on Sunday. So I'll give me a bit of a Nugget vibe there. We have Boston at Dallas, which would have been an absolute cracker if Luka and Kyrie and everybody was actually healthy on the Mavs. But they're not. It is a bit of a sneaky one, though. Mavs, they played real tough against Minnesota yesterday. Interesting to see how they go against the Thunders today, but I feel like Boston's probably a little bit too tough for them. But I'd probably go Dallas at the line once you actually have one, just because Boston haven't been I don't know. You saw that Clippers game yesterday, right? They had no one. They pushed them to overtime. Miami at Brooklyn. I think the Heat bounce back and get a big win in Brooklyn because they have... Look, Brooklyn have played pretty tough the other day when they lost by 5 to, I want to say, the Knicks in the Battle of New York. That was a pretty tough game. The Nets will probably keep that one close, but Miami should have enough talent to win that one, especially if Hero's playing. New Orleans in Charlotte. I reckon the Pelicans can actually get that one. The Hornets at home are a bit of a tough ask, but I think the Pels, if they've got a Zion actually playing, they should win that one. Detroit Orlando is actually sneakily excellent, isn't it? Franz Wagner, hello, and Palabancaro against my beloved Detroit basketball Pistons. Down there in Florida, though, I think Orlando and their defense is probably a hint too good. I'd probably still go Detroit at the line, just saying, but at the moment we'll go Orlando. Atlanta hosts Toronto, having played that exact game today. I think Atlanta in the second instance of this game, I don't know what's going to happen in today's game. I think Toronto keep it close, but then I think Atlanta beat them on Sunday pretty handily. Houston, Cleveland, we get a rematch from yesterday's awesome buzzer-beating fuckery down there in the Rockets. That was an insane game. Absolutely insane, right? Where Darius Garland suddenly can't hit free throws. Goes 3 of 8. A 90% free throw shooter. He goes 1 of 3. Down 2 at the end of the game with 2.8 seconds left. and they don't get it done. I think Cleveland bounce back and actually get that win against Houston at home in Cleveland. So that should be another absolute corker on Sunday. The Kings, Sacramento, visit the New York Knickerbockers of New York City at the Mecca, MSG. I think the Knicks will be too tough for the Kings. It's a sneakily okay game, though, because we saw Sacramento go toe-to-toe with the Warriors yesterday in a crazy shootout that just went absolute swings and roundabouts. The Knicks will probably try to drag them down in the mud a little bit. You've got Karl Anthony Towns versus the Souvlaki King. I think the Knicks will be a little bit too good. You've got Philly then in Chicago. I don't know if Philly can score enough, even with Paul George back, to keep up with this Bulls offense that is just go, 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 score, 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 score. Oh, what's the thing at the other end? Defense? No, we don't play that. But the Bulls should be a bit too good for that Sixers team. Wouldn't surprise me if the Sixers keep it close. Maxey, though, it's a bit dangerous. Like Philly could actually, let's go Philly in that one. I feel like they would just be like absolutely super hungry for a win, and Chicago will be like in this false sense of security if they get the win over the Golden State Warriors today, and then they'll disappoint their fans in classic Bulls fashion. Utah at Memphis. The Grizzlies should have no problems against the Jazz. It's a soft J. The Lakers then go to Golden State. How good is that game? Jared Vanderbilt's coming back, everybody. Hooray. Okay. The Lakers should still be a bit too good for the Warriors, who still don't have Draymond and are just a bit of a shell of themselves. Phoenix host Washington. The Bradley Beal revenge game, even though Brad Beal's not playing at the moment. So, yeah, we'll go the Suns. Booker and KD versus, like, Booker and KD from Temu. That's Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. Then we've got the Bucks at the Clippers. That's actually a bit of a cracker. I think the Bucks should be a little bit too good for the Clippers. But if Kawhi comes back, James Harden will probably be back for that one. Should be a really good game, but I reckon the Bucks just get it done. Then on Monday, so no Monday show as a reminder because I'll be still up by the river. There is only one game because there's two big NFL playoff games and the NBA is just like, oh, I'm afraid of the NBA. We shouldn't even try to put games against them. OKC at Portland's, pour one out for the Blazers. Big road trip, then all the way home. That'll be a bit rooted, I reckon, but I'll take OKC. Then on Tuesday, when we are back with the show, we have the Lakers. The Lakers at Charlotte. Lakers should be a bit too good, but this will be a sneaky tough game, just saying, after a cross-country flight for the Lakers, having just played 2 days before in Golden State. Lakers in Charlotte. Charlotte will keep that close, but Lakers will win. Detroit, Cleveland. Cleveland. That's an awesome game. The currently six-seeded Detroit basketball Pistons of Detroit, Michigan, up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cavs will probably win that. I think their size is a little bit too much for that Detroit team, right? Like Jalen Duren, there's only so much he can do. Their shooting's pretty good, but like Cleveland's wings are pretty handy too. So we'll go the Cavs. Houston at Boston. Now this is a rad game. I'm actually going to take Houston in this one because we talk about Boston being, well, we just talked about the Lakers being on a big road trip. So are Boston, right? A couple of LA games. What else are they doing? They got that Lakers game, and then there's another. Did Boston play another one or not? Anyway, they have the Lakers game today, and then playing Dallas, and then they've got a game against Houston 2 days after that. So they finally get home, and you have to play one of the best defenses in the NBA. That sucks. I think the Rockets can win that. I'm going to go Houston in Boston. Cracking game on Tuesday. Then you got Sacramento. They'll delete the Nets. Even though Sacramento do tend to play down to opposition, they should be way too good for that tanking Nets team. Orlando, Miami, a battle of Floridia. I love this. We're going to go the Magic Men with Franz and Ballard back. They should be way too good. Memphis at the Knicks. How good are these Tuesday games? It's like the NFL finishes on they finish their championship games on Monday. The next day, the NBA has just thrown their schlong on the table. And gone, hey, look, this one. Memphis at Knicks is unreal. Jar and Desmond Bain against Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges and Cat. I think the Knicks might be able to grind out a win there, but that game is awesome. Love to see Memphis actually take it to them and maybe beat them. Maybe Knicks might be just a little bit too good for the Grizz. Fascinating game. That's awesome. Then we've got the Pelicans in Toronto. The Pelicans, a bit of a tough one, I think, for them. Toronto are sneakily okay at home. So I think we might go the Raptors who have just spent a couple of days down in Atlanta. They come home. I reckon they should be too good for the Pels. Denver at Chicago. The Bulls, they stink. They have no hope against Nikola Jokic and co. Atlanta then go to Minnesota, having played the Raptors a couple of times. I don't actually mind Atlanta in that one. Trae Young and Dyson up against Ant-Man. Rudy Gobert, Zastava Tower up against a couple of the bigs for Atlanta. Don't mind the Hawks. Let's go the Hawks. Minnesota just leave me looking around going, what is you? What is you? Washington then go to Dallas. Could the Wizards pull off a weird upset in this one? Probably. I'd probably go Washington at the line, but I'll take Dallas to win. Milwaukee at Utah. The Bucks should be way too good, even on their little bit of a road trip, having just played in LA against the Clippers. Bucks will be too good for it. Utah. And then the Clippers-Phoenix finish off Tuesday. That is an awesome game. Clippers-Suns in Phoenix. I might go the Clippers. I think Kawhi. Man, it's a couple of tough games for the Clippers, isn't it? They host Milwaukee, then go to Phoenix. Kawhi versus KD. Harden versus Booker. I think the Clippers might be able to cover that one. I don't know if they'll win it. But we'll go the Clippers, actually, because the Suns just... Something stinks there in Phoenix. It stinks. It stinks. It stinks. Tell you what. Anyway, so there you go. And I think that's maybe it for today. We don't have the All-Stars announced just yet. Jordan Poole wants to be in the All-Star game in three-point contest. Sure. And I want a massive schlong and to be like as rich and as famous as like Ryan Gosling. Amazing. All-Stars is delayed, so that sort of sucks. But anyway. All right, that'll do us. I've already given you my All-Stars. We'll push out all the other ones as well. We've got Celtics-Lakers today as well. That's going to be fun as, but I can't believe the NBA screwed up the scheduling. But either way, that'll do us for today and for this week. We'll be back on Tuesday with only one game on Monday. I think you'll be able to survive without me. We'll be back Tuesday, Arvo, with more NBA Straight to wrap up a big weekend ahead. Talk out the All-Star stuff as well. Should be very fun. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facey IG, TikTok, YouTube, all the good stuff right there. Oh, the Draymond Green Dickhead of the Week award goes to Draymond saying, hey, man, yeah, Jordan Poole should just get over it. You punched him in the fucking head. You're his teammate, you fucking idiot. Anyway, get around all of the stuff that we do. We've got NFL Australia as well, myself and Gaz talking out this massive weekend ahead for the NFL. That was a good show. We've got the Cricket Today podcast. The boys are all over the BBL finals going on right now, which is awesome. And there's also a tour of Sri Lanka coming up too as well. The Football Today podcast, Hold All Tickets, and of course, AFL Today, which is back very, very soon. Check us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever app you use on your weird Android phones, whatever they have, I don't know. Just go hammer and tongs on it. Review, star, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come on. Please. That'd be very handy. Otherwise, big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out as all the other bands as well. House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section Green, and those is there behind all the tunes you heard throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Australia Sports Australian band, so should you. And that is it for today. We'll throw a quick Cooking with Bainesy on the end of this one for your Australia Day Barbies and all that sort of good stuff. That'll be fun. Go on, follow his recipes, I guess. Have a good weekend, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Dyson Daniels should be an all-star. And later, Hosanna!
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live, socially distanced audience. And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines.
All right. G'day. It's good to see the smattering of yous here in this studio. This is amazing. It's nice to see you're all wearing your face mask and you're all socially distanced. Oh, that's beautiful, it is. But the best part is this is Cooking with Bainesy, and I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. And look, in this here very special socially distanced episode, I'm going to get you to whip up an absolute treat. That's right, it's one of my all-time Aussie favourites. You can have it whenever. It's probably the best slab of meat you'll ever bloody eat, because that's right. It's the secret Bangers Brisket Barbie Bonanza, straight out of Texas. You little ripper. Texas, Australia, I'll tell you what. That's right, I love me a big old slab of brisket cooked up on the barbie for about 8 years. Or in this case, about 8 hours. And it's easy as, mate. You might think it's a bit complicated, but there's nothing less complicated than just cooking some meat. And if you really do it properly and get all your sides bang on, it'll help you keep up this physique, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get stuck in. It is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your butcher, ask him for his best bit of brisket. You might have to call ahead or even ask him, just walk past a few days beforehand, whatever. It's bloody worth it. Get the best brisket you can. Then you duck over to the soupy, get your gear for your spice mix. Now, this is Banger spice mix. Brown sugar, paprika, onion, garlic, salt, some mustard, some cumin, and a bit of black pepper. And you're laughing. Get some gear for your sauce. You need some vinegar, some ketchup, or as I call it, tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, and some of those spices. Just toss them in. Go fucking mad. Now, get some sides. Load up with your sides at the soupy. Some green beans, some mac and cheese, a thing of coleslaw, plenty of potatoes to get more whipped than my mate Simo when he was with that Kardashian. There you go. Now, fire up your barbie. Get her up to a nice even 120. Look, you can use charcoal, you can use gas, it doesn't bloody matter. If you're using charcoal, throw in some tasty, wood chips in there for some smoky flavour if you want. I personally don't give a fuck, mate. You can just chuck it on the grill. Just gas, it doesn't matter, mate. Just, now, mix your spices together. Mix them all up, there you go. Now rub them in all over your brisket. Now, some people like to cut the fat back. You can just leave it on, doesn't matter. Just rub it all in nice and even like you massage my big mate Bogey's hammy after a big game. Oh, he gets you to do it and it's fucking gross. I'll tell you what. But anyway, let her sit there for a bit if you want after you've rubbed that all in. Nice looking, tasty, big slab of meat. Leave it, half an hour to an hour, whatever. She's right. Then bang her on. Just bang her on the barbie. Close the lid, bit of foil underneath it, and away you go. Let that bastard cook for 8 to 10 hours. Simple. I mean, in the meantime, just keep an eye on the temperature. Crack a slab. Check the internal temperature of the meat every so often. You want it around 75 degrees once she's cooked. Neck a bunch of tins. Watch some footy. Then with about an hour until she's good, get to work on your sides. Whip your potatoes. Cook your greens, your mac and cheese. Dump your coleslaw out. Put it all on some nice little plates so it all looks nice and neat. It'll look special as. Rip the brisket out. Sit there for an hour. Bang. Bob's your bloody uncle. Look at this. I'm just slicing it open. Look at that bloody brisket. That is bloody mouth-watering, that is. Mate, you can put it on sliders or you can just eat it raw dog. It doesn't matter. I'm going to slice this up, put it on a plate. Bob's your bloody Barbie-loving uncle. It is awesome. My friends, this is an absolute bloody ripper of a Bangers Brisket Barbie Bonanza. It is delicious and it'll dead set impress all your mates and all the Sheilas. Don't you worry about that. All right, so I'm just getting stuck in. This is bloody delicious. Do it at home yourselves. You'll have heaps left over to take to work for lunch, whatever, mate. You will love it. Just look how bloody... Look, I've cooked enough for all of you, so you're going to love it. There you go. All right, tune in next week to NBA STRAYA for a new recipe, and we will see you then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.